All right. AJ cashing out, trying to dig in them UK pockets, and the fans are not happy with this price gouging going on over there in the UK for Eddie Hearn and Andy Ruiz. Let's talk about that in this video. All right. Welcome back to the channel, subscribers. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And also special thank you to everybody that supports the channel on the Patreon, on the Patreon, in the live streams that we do Monday through Friday. Your support is much appreciated. Now, also, make sure you come to OG Boxing Talk Sunday, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time with myself, Curtis Anderson, Blood Boxing, KQKC Boxing, and Trap House Boxing. And also my man, Drew Titan. Go check out Drew Titan's channel. All right. AJ's prices have gone up significantly in the UK for his pay-per-view. Now, from the United States, we've been seeing this for a while. I've said that Matchroom Boxing has been price gouging UK fans for a while. And I think at this point, listening to what's going on out there, man, people are saying it like, look, this is just getting out of the way now. But why are they doing it for AJ on this particular fight? Are they cashing him out? Because if he loses, it's a wrap. And they're trying to just dig in a couple extra bucks. Or is this just, what they've always planned to do? Okay, because they got UK people used to paying pay-per-view for fights like every other fight on Sky Sports. So, why should you expect the prices to stay the same? You know the saying, if you give them a rope, they want to be a cowboy. If you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. And quite honestly, UK fight fans have been giving Eddie Hearn more than a few inches for a while. But specifically what happened is that Sky Sports, who airs the fight, who's going to air the AJ fight versus Andy Ruiz on Sky, have increased their price, and I'm going to use US dollars, from $25 to $33. That is an $8 increase on 25 bucks. And my math tells me that is a little bit over a 15%. Is that a 15%? $8? That a 15% interest? Is that a 15% increase? 10% of 25 is $250. 20 would be 5, right? 30 would be roughly 7.5. So 30%. Yeah, my math sucks, but I can do it that way. Roughly a 30% increase in the price of pay-per-view for this Andy Ruiz, Anthony Joshua fight. But look, man, you guys have been putting up with this guy doing this stuff, you guys, for a while. And honestly, he was being celebrated for doing it. Okay, so you really can't complain too much. So let's get this right. When you compare the price of pay-per-views in the United States, they've gone down. And the price of pay-per-views and the frequency of pay-per-views in the UK, it's going up. You guys have been getting price gouged out of Eddie Hearn from ticket sales, and now you've been getting price gouged for pay-per-views, and now you're getting further price gouged for pay-per-views. The tickets, that was obvious. Back last year, I think it was last year, there was a department, I don't remember the department of it. It's basically the UK equivalent of the Department of Consumer Regulatory Affairs in the United States. But it's whatever the organization that is under Parliament that is responsible for making sure that people aren't gouging citizens, that private businesses don't price gouge citizens or don't put harmful materials out there. Consumer and Regulatory Affairs. They put a limit on the amount that fighters tickets could be put a limit on the amount that tickets could be marked up on secondary markets. So say the tickets for Anthony Joshua versus whoever, if it was, just say Povetkin, because that was there. Say it was 100 quid, or is it 100 quid, 100 pounds? I think a quid and a pound is the same. So just say it was 100. You had a $100 ticket. You could at a point buy all those tickets up. They cost 100. Buy them all, so there weren't any left for anybody to buy. And then you strategically put them back out on the market for $200, $250. You mark them up at 100% because there are no tickets available at face value. So what that department did is they said, look, you can no longer do that. The only thing that you can do is increase it by a smaller amount. I think they put a limit. Wembley put a limit on the markups on secondary tickets to like 10%. So if you wanted to buy the tickets up, it would be $100 to buy them, but the most you could sell a secondary ticket for is $110. Since you got processing fees and since you have your own internal costs, it made it not worth it to do it. So magically, instead of selling out in Anthony Joshua selling out his tickets in 5 minutes, the tickets go for sale 3 months early and they don't sell out at all. Magically, after they institute that program. Then magically the next fight, he disappears from the UK altogether and goes to the United States. And then the next fight after that, magically, he doesn't go back to the UK. He goes to Saudi Arabia. Do you realize that Anthony Joshua has not been back to the UK since they outlawed ticket scalping? So Eddie Hearn and Anthony, whoever that was, could no longer price gouge UK citizens. So he hasn't been back since. But what area could you price gouge somebody in? Pay-per-view sales, pay-per-view, and they need to do it. And why do they need to do it? Number one, the last pay-per-views for Sky this year, all the pay-per-views for Sky have flopped. They've all flopped. Now, AJ versus Ruiz won in April. They had an excuse for why that didn't do very well because it was in the middle of the morning, right? The fight was in New York City. They had to move it over there so that they could make sure that they could price gouge. They move it to New York City. So consequently, the fight is in the middle of the night in the UK. And, you know, casual yuppie fight fans don't show up and wake up in the middle of the night to watch the fight. The pay-per-view numbers drop. The next fight that didn't do as well as they would have liked it to do was Rivas versus Dillian White. Those pay-per-views dropped. The pay-per-view numbers between Dillian White's last fight, I think Dillian White's last fight might have been the Chisora fight. Was it whoever Dillian White fought before he fought Rivas, that number dropped in half for Rivas. Then the next pay-per-view after that was one that I'm sure Eddie Hearn thought was going to be successful, which was Vasyl Lomachenko, the great Vasyl Lomachenko, coming to fight the Olympic gold medalist, another Olympic gold medalist from the UK, Luke Campbell. So it was gold medalist versus gold medalist for the belt. That did 200,000 pay-per-views and had to be considered disappointing for Sky and Eddie Hearn in order to recoup the costs that they have associated with putting the fight up. So that didn't do well. So now that the fight is going to be in Saudi Arabia, hey man, we can't afford to lose our shirt on this fight if it doesn't do well. So let's pass the cost on to the consumer. A 30% price increase for AJ versus Andy Ruiz. And you might as well, because this will be your last hurrah with Anthony Joshua if Anthony Joshua loses to Andy Ruiz. Now, personally, I don't believe that Anthony Joshua is going to lose to Andy Ruiz. And the reason I don't believe that is because it's going to be in Saudi Arabia. There's not going to be, I don't know how closely they're going to look at therapeutic use exemptions in Saudi Arabia. I have a suspicion that Anthony Joshua is going to come out 10% faster, 15% stronger. And if Andy Ruiz doesn't knock him out, the call is going to go to Anthony Joshua. I'm telling you, I believe that probably not. I'm joking here, but half joking. I suspect that Andy Ruiz, after he had knocked down Anthony Joshua 4 times in 7 rounds, was probably down 3 rounds on the scorecards. Against Anthony Joshua, man, because hey, come on, man, let's be real. This is boxing, and this is Matchroom Boxing's cash cow, and their only cash cow at this point, and they're hoping that he remains the cash cow. But it's going to be tough. So I feel sorry for you. I'm sorry for you, UK, for this price gouging going on with Eddie Hearn. I told you that was the case, though. But, hey, man, when you guys are all caught up in Anthony Joshua, in the Anthony Joshua storm, when you're all like, he's taking over the world of boxing, look how great this is. He's on pay-per-view, and Deontay Wilder's not on pay-per-view, right? Never mind whether the fight was pay-per-view worthy or not. Right? Dillian White is a pay-per-view star. Never mind if the fight was pay-per-view worthy. Never mind that you're slowly getting charged $25 US dollars or 19 pounds and 99 pence for fights that maybe 10 years ago you would have been able to get with your regular cable package, right? Before Eddie Hearn decided he was just going to pay-per-view and wildly jack up the boxing prices in the UK. Hey, man. You lay down with dogs, you wake up with fleas. It is what it is. And with that, I'm out. Peace.